Yeah, my name's Courtney. I work for the Office of International Mission, so same building, different departments as Mark and Juliana. But I've been in this role just over a year. So my role now is as Mission Mobilizer, which is a weird title that doesn't really make sense, but I'm figuring it out. But previously I served as a missionary for a couple of years in the Dominican Republic, and I did that right out of college. And so it's been really great to use that experience to be able to connect with students on different campuses, campus ministries, Concordia universities, and just share that experience with them because we love having young people serve as missionaries. So just kind of an overall broad idea of what the Office of International Mission is and does. Our goals are to spread the gospel, plant Lutheran churches, and show mercy. And so we do that around the world, many different countries through, we have over just about 100 missionaries and plus their families serving right now in the field, really expanding our Alliance Missionary Program, which is utilizing pastors from other church bodies in different countries to serve alongside our missionaries in the LCMS. So lots of missionary opportunities right now. I couldn't even tell you the number of countries, but we serve in 4 different regions plus the U.S. So I'd love to share more specific stories about missionaries and what they're up to and how that's going if you're interested in anything specific. The way this kind of intersects with campus ministry is we are really aiming to ramp up our GEO program. GEO stands for Globally Engaged in Outreach. And that's what I did. So we have GEO missionaries who serve, their terms are usually about 2 years. So it's kind of a really great opportunity for college students to kind of look for something after college that's not committing their entire life to something. I know a lot of young people don't want to do that right now. They don't want to go into a job and stay there for the next 30 years. So that's a really great opportunity. And I mean, from personal experience too, it was really great to have a little bit of life experience, a little bit of mission and ministry experience. I did not go into college hoping to be a church worker or anything. I'm an alum of Truman State University, so we can bond over that, Pastor Dwyer. So I was super involved in my campus ministry there, kind of got plugged into a bunch of different things, went on servant events, mission trip type things every spring break. Those were all domestic though, and I honestly didn't even know the LCMS had missionaries until I met a missionary in college. And so really connecting with college students and getting out, myself and I have another colleague who travels quite extensively focusing on campus ministry areas. So connecting with young people and saying, hey, have you ever thought about serving as a missionary? Have you ever thought about going into ministry, even though that's maybe not what you were thinking? Obviously, connecting with the Concordia universities is huge for us, but also individual campus ministries. I've had really great connections with students who are like, oh no, I've never, our campus ministry might be small. We've never had a visitor from, besides our local church, local congregation pastor, maybe a missionary has come there once and I heard them speak once. But really trying to get into where the students are at their universities and utilizing their skill sets. So one way for students to really get involved is short-term mission trips. I know we talked about, you guys hinted at doing disaster response trips over spring breaks. We've had almost all of the Concordia universities now and the 2 seminaries are starting to really put an emphasis on having students going on mission trips. And so we're really looking forward to connecting with more students doing that, either over spring break, maybe January break, J-term, Christmas break, whatever you call it. So organizing trips within campus ministries or universities to help students kind of get a little taste, right? Maybe they're not ready to sign up to be a missionary. That's kind of a big deal. But a lot of students love serving, and they love serving in their communities, and I'm sure you guys all have stories about that. And they love to serve internationally too. And so we've had really great opportunities for students to connect with church members and just the body of Christ in so many different places around the world. So love to hear more ideas if you guys have them, how we might connect on that. Just some examples of projects that students might work on. Puerto Rico is a really great place. You don't need a passport to go there, so we've had lots of student groups go there. Pretty nice and easy to get to. It's pretty convenient. Things like construction projects are always good, right? People like to do construction projects, Habitat for Humanity, that kind of stuff. Specific outreach ministries. So if you have a bunch of students who are artists or musicians or teachers, English educators, things like that, you could put on a VBS or host certain types of classes for people in the local church community of the country that you're serving in. Let's see. One of my favorite types of trips that we do, we call it mission education. It's kind of a go and see kind of trip. So learning about the ministry that our missionaries are involved in, kind of seeing what their day-to-day life is like, getting to know their local churches and church partner. So it's more of an educational trip. It's less of the hands-on type of work. Usually there's some sort of outreach project or something involved, but it's a really great opportunity for especially young people just to get out in the world to see something different than maybe the ministry that they're used to seeing, right? They've grown up in maybe one congregation, they've gone to a university, so they have a second congregation, but it's just a really great opportunity for them to get out in the world and to learn more. So we do a lot of those mission education trips as well. So love to talk more about that if that's something you guys are interested in hearing more about too. So let's see. I have some resources back there on a table. It's just outside the doors there. It's not everything we have, but there's some good options if you want to grab some sheets. We can always send you more if you're like, yeah, we really want to, maybe we want to host a missionary and we want to have some resources out and share. We can connect you with a missionary, anything like that if you're interested. A couple of the projects that came out of COVID. I was in the Dominican for most of COVID, so that was not super fun. Especially I was supposed to be working with short-term teams and no one could travel, so that wasn't as fun. But we really started getting into, okay, how else are we going to connect with people, right? How else do we get the word out that we have missionaries, these are the awesome projects they're doing. We can do short-term teams, once the airport's opened again. We can do all kinds of those types of things. So we created some online resources. There's a little bookmark out there that kind of highlights different resources. So those are all online. So walking you through, this is what ministry looks like in Latvia, or this is the type of mercy projects that are going on in Africa. And so you can kind of walk through those, and there's an online curriculum. There's actually 3. It's called Missions Unpacked. We have Missions Unpacked, we have a teen edition, and there's a kids edition. So you can kind of look through those online and see if those might be helpful to you. If something is specifically interests you, maybe you have a connection in your local community. Hey, we have this large community of Venezuelans in our community. Can you tell us more about the mission work that's going on there? Yeah, sure. We'd love to help you understand that better, unpack it. Maybe we, call up a missionary and say, hey, we have this congregation or this campus ministry that's really looking to hear more about this. Would you be willing to go visit them and share your experience with them? And I'm sure they would be happy to do that. So our missionaries are really great. So if you ever have a chance to, if anyone's passing through and you hear about it, definitely check that out. So anyway, there's some resources out there. We actually have recently created a whole, our website has all of the service opportunities. I think there's like 30 up there right now. So we have lots of great opportunities for people to get involved. We've created a whole separate page that's just opportunities that are good for young people, that are good for young adults. Maybe it's not a lot of prep time, or if it's on summer break, things like that are good for young adults. And there's a card out there that has a QR code on it. So if you take one of those, if you scan that goes directly to that page that we've highlighted some opportunities on. So again, great opportunities for young people to be connected and serving on a short-term mission trip. So kind of rambled. Any questions up till there?
How is that funded?
Great question. So all of our most of the missionary positions, the roles that we have like posted and the ways that most of our missionaries serve, those are network supported. And so the missionary is mostly responsible for raising their support. Now, it's not just them. There's a whole synod behind them. And as they travel and make visits and presentations, we help kind of get that started on how they can grow their network, how they can lean into the network that they already have. And all of our missionaries are well supported through funding, generous donors from throughout Synod. So, and each of the missionaries particularly are individually they have their account, and so gifts will come into that specific account, or it'll come to the general missionary fund, and if someone is needing extra support, then those funds will be distributed there. For short-term mission teams, like the week or two long trips, those kind of things, those are also typically funded by, you pay for that yourself. Again, we kind of help you get started on this is how you can fundraise in your congregation and your community, things like that. Some of our trips some of them are really great. They're field supported. They're a need specifically by the mission field, and they mainly support that trip for you because they really need volunteers for that. But otherwise, most of the funding is done from yourself or your congregation.
I'm just what happens?
Yeah, great question. One that I cannot explain fully in 2 minutes, but so they'll apply, have conversation. They're interested. They apply to be a missionary, to serve for 2 years, 5 years or more, whatever. There's a whole process of what that looks like, right? So they apply, do different interviews, kind of talk with our recruiters, say where's a good place, when is a good time to begin, that sort of thing. We walk them through that whole process. They start orientation. There's a period of, typically it's about 4 months of orientation in the United States before they would be deployed. And so during that time, they're at least 2 weeks, if not 3, of in-person orientation. So, what does it look like to be a missionary? How do you get paid and all of that stuff? So they are paid there. They do receive a stipend or a more extensive paycheck depending on their role, if they're commissioned or rostered or whatever. And then they're out in congregations raising support. So all of that comes in through their account, and then they receive either from the field or from our office in St. Louis, all the needs that they have are covered. For the GEO position, and I'm not sure about a longer term position. I know for the GEO position, there is a significant stipend toward paying off student loans. So I utilized that when I was a missionary. So I received my stipend or salary each month, but then additionally I said, here are my student loans, can you help me? And so there's different benefits that are covered under each different type of missionary role. So, yeah, good question.